To see. Do you know what? There's still a lot of people, despite what we're expecting on Saturday night, there's still a lot of people out there who say those Carl Frampton nights in Belfast will never be replicated.
What's nice, isn't it? It was special when I was fighting there, and the crowds, an atmosphere that could be created. Um, yeah, it's nice when people say stuff like that, but it can be. Of course, it can be. And if Lewis Crocker um, can beat Paddy Donovan, then I mean he could be the man to kind of bring the big legs back to Belfast.
I think that was the anticipation with the first one, wasn't it? I think those who thought that if Paddy was victorious, then the fights might go south to Limerick, and if Crocker wins, then Belfast becomes the stronghold again.
Yeah, I think so, but um, I'm not too sure if there's arenas in Limerick that are suitable for boxing. I'm not sure. I don't know, to be honest. But outside of Dublin, I don't know if there's too many that are big enough to put big numbers in for world title fights. But maybe Paddy, he trains in Dublin with Andy Lee, so maybe he could base himself there. Who knows?
It's the idea of the two fighting again. It's interesting, isn't it? I mean, it was such a gripping fight the first time with all the controversies and everything that went on. Do you see it being different this time? And I don't mean obviously winding up with a DQ, but do you see it a different type of fight?
I think it'll have to be if Lewis has any chance of winning. It was so one sided up until the disqualification. Um, I have a theory, and I haven't asked anyone about this, but I think that I've seen Paddy box in the Ulster Hall a few fights before he fought Lewis. It was an 8 round fight, and he got a little bit tired around round 5 or 6. Um, and I think he only got it at short notice. Maybe he wasn't as fit as he should have been. And I think that Crocker, maybe I'm speaking out of turn here, but I think Crocker and Billy Nelson probably thought we'll walk forward, keep our hands high, and then fade in the second half. But that wasn't the case. Um, so I know Lewis is a lot better than that last performance that we seen, where I think he would happily, well, he would not happily, but he would admit himself that he was really under par. Um, but it's going to be a tough ask just because it was so one-sided, and I think Paddy will be going into this fight full of confidence.
What do you say to Lewis if you're Billy Nelson? How do you say to stop what happened in the first time happening again?
Well, there's a couple of things I think his output needs to be higher. He can't. I mean, you get away with it in the amateurs when you walk forward with your hands high and you take shots on the gloves. But as a pro that gets through, the gloves are smaller and um, they still get through it. And Lewis has this kind of defense where his hands are open when they're up. So when he's blocking a shot, it's still doing that, and it's leather and tape and rope just doing damage to your own face. So I think the output needs to be higher. He needs to move his head more as well, a lot more, um, and put it on Paddy a bit. Like, but in saying that, so he needs to gamble in a sense, but that could suit Paddy, who's a very technically astute boxer, moves very well, um, counter punches really well, punches hard as well. Um, so I'd say, yeah, two things for Lewis: move his head more and throw a lot more shots.
Did you think Paddy had that sort of performance in him going into that fight? Did you think he was at that level, that Andy's been telling us about for a while?
I knew he was very, very good. And I think he's a top quality fighter. I think that I don't want to contradict myself here, but I think that because of how Lewis boxed, made him not he is good, Paddy, but it made him maybe even look better because it was so one-sided. And I think that I'm not sure. I think going into the fight, it was pretty. And according to the bookies, it might have been very even anyway. But Paddy dominated from start to finish. Certainly, he's the better boxer on the back foot, but Lewis kind of made things easy for him as well. But I do think that Paddy Donovan is a special talent.
Do you think that Lewis has seen something that he thinks he can exploit or capitalize upon, or do you think it's just the fighter in him that wants this rematch straight away?
I think it's probably the fighter in him that wants the rematch. And he has been quite vocal and said that that was the first fight that he wanted. He wanted the right or wrong. So yeah, you have to give him credit for that. But maybe he's a lot better than that last performance. But in the same, I'd love to see him win. But it's still it's pretty hard to make an argument for him considering how one sided the first fight was. But I hope he can pull it off. Um, I mean, Ireland's going to have a new world champion at the end of the day, whoever wins, which is good for the island as a whole. But me being the selfish person that I am, I'd love to see it be Crocker just to bring the big nights back to Belfast. Um, but it's a difficult task for him. And again, it all goes back to the first fight. It was like it wasn't even close, really. You know what I mean? It was so comfortable for Paddy in there, and it's Lewis has to change a lot, but I think he needs that.
Is there any way that Paddy can win the Belfast crowd over and make it his fortress? And I don't mean necessarily through politics or geography, but in terms of performance and as a fighting man, is there a way that he can make it his home?
Well, look, on the night that you're talking about, or that the
No,
him coming back.
no. Let's say moving forwards, because we're
Um,
talking about Belfast being sort of wide open for Crocker if he wins and he kicks on.
yeah,
But
I think it will be difficult just because of politics in this place. And Paddy Donovan is from the south. It would be difficult for it to be Belfast, but it could easily be Dublin. It could easily be Dublin, and Paddy. I mean, Paddy's done everything. He can box, like he can box, he can punch. He looks the part as well,
yeah.
and he speaks very well too. I imagine there's a few modelling jobs lined up for him as well when he wants to tackle boxing. But he's he's got quality in so many different areas. I think.
And whoever wins, it seems to all be opening up. Like Mario Barrios drew with Pacquiao, Jaron Ennis has moved up. There's a few guys that have big names that look beatable, and in many ways, the weight class has opened up. Like it's exciting for the winner to kick on and not think that they can't be the best in the division.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's not the division it was a few years ago when you had Boots in it, and even Crawford before him, and Virgil Ortiz and stuff like that. Real good quality fighters. So it is wide open in a sense. You've got Brand Norman's a good fight. You've got Pacquiao, who probably should have beat Barrios or should have had the decision, but Pacquiao was an old man, so it's wide open. Conor Ben's another big fight potentially for the winner. But the division, I mean, there's unification fights, or you could go on a run of a couple of defenses as well because the division maybe isn't as strong as it once was. So there'll be massive opportunities come off the back of this fight, whatever happens for the winner.
When the music hits on Saturday night, and just say, for instance, Crocker's making his ring walk, you'll probably get the hair on the back of your hands standing up and get those goosebumps. Do you miss it? Do you miss that adrenaline rush?
I get asked this question quite a lot, Tris, but I promise I don't miss it. I'm happy to be a part of it and be around the big nights, and genuinely really looking forward to Saturday night and witnessing a big fight and another historic moment. It's the first time two Irishmen have fought each other for a world title, so which is a fact that I didn't know about until this fight was made. It was surprising to me that this is going to be the first time it's happened. So I don't miss it. I don't miss it at all. I'm just happy to be involved in some shape or form.
And you're doing your running now, right? You are running a bit.
Yeah, I was doing a wee bit of running and stuff, and a little bit of like body weight stuff, but I've had about a week where I've done nothing, so I need to start getting back into it before I lose it again. So I go through these periods where I run and do a little bit of training, and then I do nothing. But I'm determined to get back in some sort of reasonable shape.
And you are busy, like you say, with the zone since the move from BT and then TNT. Are you enjoying it? And how easy was that transition for you from fighter to pundit in terms of ability and talking on camera stuff? Have you always enjoyed it?
I've enjoyed it, and I think I was doing more and more kind of commentary and punditry, even at the back end of my career while I was still fighting. And it was something that I was hopeful that I would maybe get a job, maybe here or there, and maybe down the line get a contract with someone. So I've been lucky in a sense that I kind of retired and walked into a contract with BT in terms of TNT, and then now a contract with DAZN as well. I'm really enjoying it. The people before DAZN, all good people. I've got a lot of friends from guys at BT and TNT, but the guys at DAZN, they're all good people. I haven't met a I haven't met a dickhead yet. Everyone looks after you. They're just nice people. Even the people just behind the scenes and stuff. Yeah, it's you call it a job, but it's I think it was Jamie Moore said to me. Now I don't think it's his quote. Someone I'm sure has said it before him. But if find a job that they love and they'll never have to work a day in their life, that's. I mean, this is what I'm doing at the minute. Doesn't feel like work, but I get paid for it, so it is.
Who are the boxing experts, interviewers that you enjoy listening to? Are there some out there that you do that you rate highly? They don't have to be colleagues, but guys that you think are really talk a lot of sense.
Yeah. Well, I think Andy Lee, although he's a coach now, more so than a pundit. I always liked Paulie Malignaggi, and I thought he was very, very good. Barry Jones is as honest as they come. Um, yeah, there's so many. Big Bonsi, I think. I mean, I think that there's a channel missing out on Bonsi at the minute. I love Bonsi can bring so much because he's been around for so long and knows so many. He's been around in so many big fights. And the stories are always great. I know maybe add a wee bit of cream on top of the stories, but it makes them a bit better, doesn't it? Um, there's a list of fighters. I always loved Andre Ward as well when he was doing his stuff. So very very knowledgeable. Yeah, so there's probably a few I'm leaving out. I'm going to annoy, but there's a few for you.
Yeah, and we've not talked about it on the record, but you were a real advocate of damage, for which I was really appreciative. In fact, people still send me clips of podcasts and interviews you do where you cite it, so I'm always grateful for that. But I don't know, you grateful that I wrote it, or do you wish I hadn't bothered?
Absolutely. No, I'm glad you wrote it. It's an amazing book, so well researched. I imagine it took a lot of time to put it together completely, but it's an amazing book. I'm glad I read it. I have to say I'm glad I read it when I retired from boxing. Um, it might have been a more difficult read while I was still in it, and maybe made me question a few things. But um, I think I'm not just saying this, Tris, because I'm talking to you, but it's it's one of the best books that I've read. Genuinely,
Have has Christine read it?
she hasn't, but I told her um, a lot about it. And even from that, even from the book, I mean, I've went and started to get like some cognitive tests done myself, just on a yearly basis to see if there's any sort of decline or anything. I've done a bit of research into the land main stuff that you talked about in the book as well, and I'm taking them as a supplement every day. I'm doing the cognitive stuff. I'm trying to read a bit more to keep the brain in good shape. So all these things probably come from reading your book. So yeah, I have to say thanks.
No, that's great, Carl. Thank you very much. And I'm pleased that you're enjoying life after boxing, because so many people get that itch to go back. And is that even relatable to you? Or do you feel like you just, with the Herring fight and the way things wound up, do you feel like you got every drop out of your career? Is that why you feel like you don't need anything else?
Every drop and a bit more probably. I mean, I done better than I expected to do at the start of the professional journey. So I can't really complain. I like to be a realist, you know what I mean? I wasn't the same fighter that I once was, and you know, losing to Jamel Herring is one thing, but losing to someone who wouldn't have laced their gloves 2 or 3 years previous to that would be a little bit harder to take for me, I think. So I understand why people want to fight on, but it's not for me. And I done more than I thought I was ever going to do. So in a sense, I was just happy to call it a day really at the end.
And I suppose that there was the pinnacle had to be Leo Santa Cruz, right, out in America. I mean, where do you go from that anyway, right? So a
Yeah,
bit like Ricky and Costa Zoo, like, once you've scaled that Everest, you're sort of, you kind of a made man.
yeah, no, it was amazing. That was the pinnacle, really. Beating, I think Leo, he's went on to win another world title in a different division, but at the time he was 3-weight world champion. He was undefeated. I think he was 7 or 8 in the Ring magazine top 10 pound for pound. So it was a win that not many people expected me to win. And but I knew I had this confidence that I could beat him, and it was a great win. It was a close fight. It was a good fight. The second one was another close fight, another good fight that he won fair and square. But just a shame that we never had the third one.
And so, are you able to pick a winner on Saturday, or are you keeping your cards close to your close to your chest?
I, I would love Lewis to do it because I'm from Belfast and I want to see all the big nights back in Belfast. But just going off the back of the last performance, it's going to be it's difficult. It's difficult to make a strong argument for him. But I hope I'm wrong and I hope he can do it all.
Well, I hope we get one of those Carl Frampton atmospheres. I think we might
You
do.
will. We always do. We always do. It's going to be. I can't wait because I always wanted to be kind of a fly on the wall at my own fights in the Odyssey and wherever they may be in Belfast. So it gives me the opportunity now to be that, and I can't wait to soak it all
Yeah, great stuff. All right, Carl, I'll see you over there, but safe travels, and I will speak to you
on.
soon.
Cheers, mate. All the best.
Take care. Thank you. Bye bye.